Today, we're diving deep into the origins of humanity as we explore a foundational passage from the Bible, Genesis 4:17, 5:32. Make sure to subscribe now so you don't miss anything. This account reveals the first generations after Adam, the foundations of emerging civilizations, and how God continues to work in the world. Welcome to New Pod. Cain then knew his wife, and she conceived and gave birth to Enoch. This son marked a significant step in Cain's life as he went on to build a city in his honor. He named the city Enoch after his son. This founding represents the establishment of the first organized human communities, moving beyond a nomadic lifestyle. Cain's lineage continued through Enoch, who fathered Irad. Irad then fathered Mehujael, Mehujael fathered Methuselah, and Methuselah fathered Lamech. This succession of generations shows the progression of humanity and the spread of its presence on Earth, marking the beginning of a complex and branching history. Lamech, a descendant of Cain, took two wives for himself, named Adah and Zillah. From his union with Adah, two sons were born. The first, Jabal, was known as the ancestor of all who live in tents and raise livestock. He represents the origin of the pastoral and nomadic way of life. His brother, Jubal, was the father of all who play the lyre and flute, marking the emergence of music and the arts. As for Zillah, Lamech's second wife, she gave birth to Tubal-Cain, a skilled blacksmith and a master forger of all tools of bronze and iron. His sister, Naamah, is also mentioned. This family illustrates the birth of various professions and arts, laying the practical and cultural foundations of human civilization. One day, Lamech spoke to his two wives, Adah and Zillah. He said to them, "Adah and Zillah, listen to my voice. Wives of Lamech, hear my words. I have killed a man for wounding me, a young man for hurting me." This declaration reveals an act of violence and revenge. It suggests he was either defending himself or retaliating. Lamech then continued, stating if Cain is avenged 7 times, then Lamech 77 times. This shows a major escalation of vengeance, far beyond the standard previously set for Cain. It marks a turning point for this family line in its concept of justice and retribution, highlighting the growing intensity of human conflict. While one branch of humanity grew through Cain's lineage, Adam knew his wife again, and she bore another son. She named him Seth, explaining her choice with these words, "God has granted me another child in place of Abel, because Cain killed him." Seth's birth is presented as a divine gift, offering new hope after Abel's loss. Seth, in turn, had a son whom he named Enoch. A notable event is linked to this period. It was then, the story goes, that people began to call upon the name of the Lord. This highlights the emergence of a more formal and collective religious practice. It was a direct appeal to the Creator, marking an important step in humanity's relationship with God. The Book of Adam's Generations begins by recalling the origins of humanity. On the day God created mankind, He made them in His own likeness. He created them male and female. He blessed them and called them mankind on the day they were created. Adam lived for 130 years. Then he fathered a son in his own likeness, after his own image, and named him Seth. After Seth's birth, Adam lived for another 800 years. He had other sons and daughters. Adam's total lifespan was 930 years. Then he died. This passage emphasizes the transmission of Adam's divine likeness to his descendants. It also highlights the continuity of human life through generations, despite the cycle of life and death. Seth's lineage continued, ensuring the human family's survival. Seth lived for 105 years, then became the father of Enoch. After Enoch was born, Seth lived another 807 years. He had other sons and daughters. He died at the age of 912. His son, Enoch, lived 90 years before becoming the father of Canaan. He then lived 815 more years, having other sons and daughters. He died at 905 years old. Canaan, in turn, lived 70 years and became the father of Mahalalel. He then lived 840 more years, had other children, and died at the age of 910. Mahalalel lived 65 years, then became the father of Jared. He lived 830 more years after that, before dying at 895 years old. This long account highlights the steady progression of generations. Jared lived 162 years, and then he fathered Enoch. After Enoch was born, Jared lived another 800 years, and he had other sons and daughters, dying at the age of 962. Enoch, for his part, lived 65 years and fathered Methuselah. What makes Enoch's story unique is this specific detail: Enoch walked with God. After Methuselah was born, he continued to walk with God for 300 years and had other sons and daughters. In total, Enoch lived for 365 years. Then he was no more because God took him. This phrase, God took him, is a notable exception in the list of deaths, and it distinguishes Enoch as a special figure in this genealogy. Methuselah lived 187 years, and then he fathered Lamech. After Lamech was born, Methuselah lived another 782 years, and he had other sons and daughters. In total, Methuselah lived for 969 years, and then he died. Lamech, his son, lived 182 years and fathered a son he named Noah. At Noah's birth, Lamech said, "He will comfort us in our work and the toil of our hands, which comes from the ground the Lord has cursed." After Noah was born, Lamech lived another 595 years and had other sons and daughters. In total, Lamech lived for 777 years, and then he died. Noah, at the age of 500, then fathered Shem, Ham, and Japheth, bringing this genealogy of Adam's descendants to a close. This account of Adam's descendants, from Cain to Noah, reminds us of humanity's ongoing story and God's presence throughout the ages. To keep exploring these foundational stories, subscribe to NewPod.